I was cutting vegetables when I heard her laugh from the living room. That same warm, melodic laugh that used to make my heart swell. But now it felt different. Forced. Nervous. Then I heard her say the words that stopped my world cold. "Thank you all for the congratulations. Yes, it's official. I'm engaged." The knife slipped from my hand and clattered onto the counter. My first thought wasn't even anger. It was confusion. Engaged. To who? 'Cause last time I checked, she was still my wife. I walked to the edge of the kitchen, leaning just enough to see her. Mia was sitting on the couch, video calling someone. Her phone propped up on a stack of books, a mug of coffee beside her. She was glowing. Her hair curled just the way she knew I liked. That same blue sweater I'd given her on our anniversary. She looked happy. "Yeah," she giggled, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "It's been complicated. But I'll explain everything soon." Complicated. That's what she said instead of, "I'm married." It had been 6 months since she'd taken space. Her words, not mine. She said she needed time to figure herself out, but never left the house, only the marriage. She started sleeping in the guest room, saying it helped her think better. We shared meals sometimes, but mostly we moved around each other like polite strangers. I'd hoped she'd come back to me. I kept doing the laundry, fixing the leaky faucet, packing her lunch when I made mine. Hope is cruel like that, it makes you do chores for a ghost. So hearing her announce an engagement, while sitting under my roof, felt like being gutted with my own knife. I didn't say anything right then. Couldn't. I went back to chopping vegetables, though my hands shook so badly I could barely hold the blade. I listened to her finish the call. Laughter, thank yous, promises to share details later. Then silence. When she walked into the kitchen, I was staring out the window, watching the last light fade. She said softly, "Hey," like nothing happened. "Mia," I said, turning to face her. "Who were you talking to?" She froze. Her eyes flickered. That split second of panic people get when they're caught before they figure out which lie to use. "Just some friends," she said. "From work." "And you're engaged now?" Her face drained of color. She opened her mouth, closed it, then whispered, "You heard." "I heard everything." My voice cracked, part rage, part heartbreak. "You're engaged, while still married to me." She pressed her lips together, then looked down. "It's not what you think." "Really?" I stepped closer. "Because I think my wife just told people she's marrying another man, while still living in my house, eating food I pay for, wearing clothes I bought her." Tears welled in her eyes. "Daniel, please. Who is he?" She hesitated. Then, "His name's Adrian. He's my coworker." I didn't mean for it to happen like this. I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. "Didn't mean to. What part of announcing your engagement to another man in my house wasn't intentional?" She covered her face, sobbing. "I didn't know how to tell you. I wanted to wait until I moved out." "Then why are you still here?" She lowered her hands, eyes red and wet. "Because I don't have anywhere else to go yet. Adrian's apartment's too small, and I can't afford a new place until next month. I just needed a little more time." That word again. Every excuse she'd given me in the last 6 months had started with time. That night I didn't sleep. I sat on the porch until dawn, listening to the wind rustle through the trees, trying to piece together where everything had gone wrong. Mia and I had been married for 9 years. We met in college. She was studying literature, I was working 2 jobs and taking night classes. We built our life from nothing. She was my anchor, my home. But over the past year something shifted. She started coming home later, spending weekends with friends from work. Her phone was always face down. When I asked if something was wrong, she said she was just drained. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. Now, all that belief felt like a fool's currency. The next morning, I found her sitting at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone. Her ring, our wedding ring, was gone. I stared at her hand. "When did you take it off?" She looked up. "A while ago." My throat tightened. "Why didn't you tell me it was over?" She sighed. Because I didn't know if it was. Cared about you, Daniel. I still do. But Adrian makes me feel alive again. I haven't felt that in years. Alive. As if our marriage had been some slow death. So what was I? I asked quietly. A placeholder until you found someone more exciting? Her eyes glistened. That's not fair. No, Mia, I said, leaning forward. What's not fair is lying to me while sleeping under my roof. What's not fair is you announcing an engagement before ending your marriage. She said nothing. Just wiped at her eyes. Finally she whispered, please, just let me stay a few more weeks. Until I figure things out. Something inside me cracked. It wasn't anger anymore. It was emptiness. That cold, hollow space where love used to live. That day I called a lawyer. He was calm, efficient, professional. You have grounds for an at-fault divorce, he said. Adultery, emotional distress. We can expedite it if you want. I didn't want revenge. I wanted peace. But peace doesn't live in the same house as betrayal. When Mia got home that evening, I had her bags packed. 2 suitcases. Her clothes, her books, her things. Everything else she could collect later. She stood frozen in the doorway. What is this? It's me giving you what you wanted, I said quietly. Freedom. Her voice trembled. Daniel, I can't. You can, I cut in. You already did. The moment you said yes to another man. She covered her mouth, tears spilling over. Where will I go? Your fiancé has a couch, doesn't he? Said. My voice didn't even sound like mine anymore. Go there. She stared at me for a long time, searching for the man who used to forgive everything. But I was gone. She picked up her bags, her shoulders shaking, and walked toward the door. When she turned back, her voice cracked. I never wanted to hurt you. You didn't want to, I said. You just didn't care enough not to. And then she was gone. For weeks, the house felt like a mausoleum. Every sound echoed, her laughter in the kitchen, the faint smell of her shampoo in the bathroom, the indentation of her side of the bed. I thought throwing her out would bring relief. But all it brought was silence. Heavy, merciless silence. Then, one evening about a month later, there was a knock on the door. It was Mia. Her eyes were hollow, makeup smeared, clothes wrinkled. She looked smaller somehow. Can I come in? She asked softly. I hesitated, then stepped aside. She sat on the edge of the couch, the same spot where she'd once announced her engagement, and clasped her hands tightly. Adrian called it off, she said finally. He said it was too soon. That he wasn't ready for commitment. I didn't say anything. She looked up at me, voice trembling. I made a mistake, Daniel. I was lonely, confused. I thought he loved me. And now that he doesn't, I said. You come back here? No, she said quickly. Not for that. I wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. I looked at her, really looked. For the first time, I didn't see the woman I'd married. I saw someone I used to know. Someone who'd burned down our life and was now sifting through the ashes, searching for something to salvage. I forgave you, I said quietly. Not for you. For me. Tears spilled down her face. Does that mean? It means I'm done carrying it, I interrupted. The love, the anger, the what-ifs. You took those with you when you walked out that door. She covered her mouth, sobbing. I don't deserve forgiveness. No, I said softly. But neither did I deserve betrayal. When she finally left that night, I didn't watch her go. I stood at the window, staring at the rain tapping against the glass. For the first time in months, the house didn't feel haunted. Just quiet. Peacefully quiet. The next morning I called the lawyer again. Finalized the paperwork. Closed that chapter for good. And as I sat at the kitchen table, sipping coffee from the mug she'd once used, I realized something. Sometimes losing someone isn't the tragedy. Sometimes it's the liberation. Because love, real love, doesn't demand you live half a life while someone else plans their future in your home. She'd announced her engagement to another man while still living in mine. And when she asked to stay, I finally found the strength to say the one word I'd been too afraid to use. No,